Welcome to Career Launch Australia. I'm Rajiv Bedse. Another success story for Career Launch Australia. I got here Shri with me. Welcome to Career Launch Australia, Shri.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
So Shri is basically a project engineer with 11 years of experience in delivering ambitious projects on time. Obviously, he comes from India. He has been here since the last 1.5 months, I believe. And Shri, with our help, he got a job in about a couple of weeks' time in his own field and a high-paying job. So Shri, welcome once again to Career Launch Australia. I remember you started working with us when you were overseas, when you were in India.
Yes, sir.
And it was something about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yes,
So
sir.
you've been very proactive in that regard. What was your experience of dealing with Career Launch Australia when you were back home in India?
Yeah. The thing is, as you know, sir, it all started one night. I was just watching your, feedback videos of people of your previous students, and immediately it should be like 1:30 in the midnight or something. in
Oh,
India.
okay.
So that's when I booked my first appointment with you. So
Wow.
yes, sir. So from Pondicherry, and after that, it's all what happened after that is I wouldn't. It's like all like miracle as step by step.
That's great. So what exactly was the situation for you, Shri?
Actually, the thing is I had I was actually working as project. I was taking care of the project as project manager and stuff, and I have got like 10 plus years of experience, like 11 years, and I migrated to Australia in December last 2007. Actually, I was here for a month. At that time, I came to know I just applied for a few jobs, and I hardly got any reply from anyone. And I came, after that I went back.
So when you say, sorry to interrupt you, when you say you came here in 2017, did you migrate here permanently?
No. Just because the thing is I had only 2 months for activating my PR.
Okay.
So I didn't expect, because they say they give 6 to 9 months for that.
Yes.
But in my case, we had only 2 months, because we got the PR delayed.
Okay.
So they had shrinked our activation period. So we don't have any, because once I got the PR, within 3 or 4 days I booked my flight ticket to Australia.
Right.
And I came here for a couple of weeks and went back. And that couple of weeks I got to know what because I have work experience in UK as well, but Australia is completely different. And I came to know what the way in which I project my experience to them, it's going to be a challenge. So that's where I thought I need a person who's an expert in this, so who can guide me through this thing. So that's how I came to. I was searching for a lot of people like that, and I figured out I zeroed in on CLA.
Right. So did you apply for the jobs when you were in India?
Not really, sir.
You didn't.
Not really.
Okay. Because that is this is a good point you're making, because many times it's what happens that when immigrants get their PR visa, the one thing that they do is they start applying for the jobs while they are in their respective countries, hoping that they will get called for an interview, or someone will do an interview with them on Skype or things like that. But that is far from reality.
That's not going to work.
Honestly speaking, I haven't seen anyone getting an interview call while they're overseas, because it's always the supply and demand equation.
Mm-hmm.
So when they are getting that kind of talent here in Australia, there is no reason why they should interview someone who is overseas.
Yes,
So moving forward with your story, Shri, we focus a lot on mindset mentoring.
Mm.
So yes, getting a job is important, getting a job quickly is important from your point of view, from our point of view as well, because we don't work with a whole lot of clients. We need to make sure that the client that we accept as our clients, we do complete justice to them. So that's why we emphasize a lot on the mindset mentoring. So we create that particular mindset shift before you migrate to Australia.
Yes.
How did that mindset mentoring help you?
Yeah, I told you, no, sir. My why I insist on, I know for sure, because the regular way is not Australian way. Australian way is completely different, and the way in which I find it, there is a gap. What the employers they expect, and how we are projecting our experience to them. So, and that is where you feel that gap. I feel even now I feel that, because most of the time I feel frustrated. Uh, I can't really communicate what I have done. I have done a lot of challenging things in my professional career, and I don't know how to explain it to them in the way they can understand it. So that is where I found it very challenging, and CLA has clearly helped me in that thing. So, and one more thing, I had also the problem. People used to say, it's very difficult for you to, without having local experience, it's difficult like that. So these things where I can't give a name for that thing, and you rightly define this it as limiting belief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those things, and these things and all, mentoring has really helped me in overcoming those limiting beliefs.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that is, many people have got different limiting beliefs, and you're absolutely spot on. Because, the immigrants and particularly professionals, you guys have all the skill set that you need to be able to succeed in any country, not just in India. But what really stops you from succeeding in another country are those limiting beliefs. And like Shri correctly pointed out, it is important to have that kind of clarity and be able to communicate in such a way that the employers or the people here in Australia will be able to tangibly feel it. And probably that is what we help you with. Am I right in understanding that?
Exactly. Yeah, because one thing I can, from my experience, I had this thing that since you were coming to CLA and all, because I know I have got some professional expertise, or if I work for a company, as a company we have got some professional expertise, and people come to us to so that we can give them the solution. So I knew that I have some problem or challenges now, and I need to seek some professional to get a solution for that or advice for that, and that's how you just help me in those things.
Beautiful.
And one more thing also, a lot of people they say you won't get, it's very hard to find job here like that, and the way you always speak and the positive thing. So that is where I felt that a difference and change.
The positivity.
Yeah, I always like to be with people who are positive and optimistic, and who can, because I have done it over and over again in my life, in my professional career and also in personal career. So that is when you just gave me one thing. I was as I was explaining one of my friend who I referred to you. I was explaining him. You had these three things. The people who influence you negatively, people who don't influence you, both positive or negative, and people who influence positive. You have that. You remember that table, sir?
Yes.
And I told my friend, we really don't have that negative influence people to write in India, but in Australia we had few people, sir, because whoever we meet, they say you're not going to find a job here, you're not going to find a job here, like that, and they're true, because that's what they,
that is their
experience, and that's what they still don't have some stuff. Even my son's, friend, school, his classmates, people also, father and mother also, they are finding it difficult to get a professional job here. So that's my.
Okay, so one of the things, Shri, that we emphasize a lot on is the mindset mentoring. Because I believe that, when the immigrant professionals migrate to Australia from overseas, they have the skill set, but where they lack to an extent is the mindset, which also includes the limiting beliefs or the fear of unknown, fear of failure and kind of things. how much do you believe that mindset mentoring actually helped you in making a decision to migrate to Australia permanently this time, and also in terms of your job search?
Yeah. Previously, I had that, you know, the limiting belief in my mind. Like, you know, moving to Australia, it's a new country, and how, you know, we're just moving with my family, like how it's going to be on all these things. And the next challenge is, you know, finding the right job here. And in both the cases, like after, you know, taking the mentoring from CLA, I felt more confident. And one more thing is, at one point of time, I was not really, you know, previously I used to had some fear or something. I was not really having that fear. So I just came across all those fear and those, you know, limiting thoughts and all these things. And yeah, I felt more confident and, you know, motivated after the mentoring program.
Yeah, it's very important to have the confidence, because even in an interview, what they'll be watching you for is your confidence and your passion. Because once they believe that, you know, you are a very passionate human being, then they don't need a supervisor or a team leader to watch your activity or what you're doing every day. So yes, that's from that point of view, it's absolutely important. And most people have these fears. The fear of unknown, fear of failure, fear of rejection, the fear of leaving the safe harbor, because you are moving from a, you know, your own comfort zone into a new area. And yeah, that is why we emphasize so much on those two things, limiting beliefs and fears as well. Now, out of the other things, such as profile crafting, for example, how happy were you with your resume?
Very happy. That's a thing which I would tell you, sir. Previously, it was like more of a responsibility driven, and I think like responsibility is like not a writing. It's not a proactive thing to, because they know, the employers know what is the job responsibility we are going to take, you know, and it's of no use in repeating, you know, the same thing to them. And what they, from the advice I really got from you is, what they want to know is, what have you done to the best of your knowledge and experience to take care of these responsibilities. You know, how have you used these responsibilities to achieve your goal in the organization? That is what they really wanted.
Yeah.
So I felt like what I have is like, you know, I squeezed a juice, orange juice, and I left the juice, and I was just showing only the you know, residue to the employer.
Yeah.
But you just help me, just leave the, you know, waste, and just the juice is what they want, and this juice is the, you know, resume which you just this thing did.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is what they are looking for. The employers are not looking for what you have done; they are looking for how well you have done. And typically, the resume that we see of people coming from, you know, different parts of the world are more of responsibilities-driven resume, what I call an academic resume, because those resumes, they only are listing all the things that you have done. If I put myself in the employer or the recruiter's shoes, looking at those responsibilities, it is not something that is new to me, because what I'm thinking in my head is, you know, it's not the responsibility that are more important, it is the value that you have added to the past employer, because your past accomplishment is a very good indication of your future performance. So the recruiters and the employers are looking for the value. It's not about just the responsibilities, because when I see at the top of your resume that you have worked in that particular field for 10 years, I know for a fact that without performing these responsibilities, you would not be in that role for 10 years anyway.
Exactly.
So what I'm looking for is how well you have done what you have done. So yes, I'm glad that you are happy with the resume. With the interview preparation.
Yes, sir.
Did it help? Did it really help you, the interview preparation?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it just it's like spot on. Like what we need to, you know, project. You know, it's like that's the thing. No, it takes the best part. One more thing is like I have everything every time I have this challenge when making a resume or something, because it's really hard for us to explain the overall lengthy experience in few words. We don't know which is the best part of the project and career like that.
Yes.
And you just identify you because you got a lot of information from me, and you just identified this is the best achievements and everything. And I know like I've given you a lot of achievements, out of which you just selected very the most important achievements, and you just did that. That is where I think the difference I felt.
It is important that way to do it that way, Shri, because I believe that your resume is it's a gateway to the Australian job market, and it is your real estate. So every word in your resume really counts, and that is why it is critically important to be able to invest a lot of quality time. Many times people feel that their resume is an Australian style resume, but it is far from reality. And the moment people see that your resume is not an Australian style resume, is the moment they have kind of confirmed in their mind that you don't have the local experience. So the moment they think that you don't have a local experience, you might be the best candidate for the role, but they may not even consider you because you don't have the local experience. And that is one of the, well, I would say 99% of our clients do not have local experience.
Exactly.
But still we are able to help them in getting the jobs in Australia, which means we must be doing something right by them. So not having a local experience is just a limiting belief, and that limiting belief comes from not just from the recruiters, and yes, it does come from the recruiters, but it also comes from the people, so-called your friends and acquaintances here in Australia, who tell you that you will, I can see the smile on Shri's face, who tell you that you won't be able to get a job here in Australia, and definitely not at that level. So people will give the advice that you start at this level and then you can find your way up. But one thing that I can tell you is if you start too low in this country, it will be extremely hard for you to find your way up. How I know it? I have been in that situation myself because I had to change my career. Luckily, you have our mentoring, you have CLA to help you here, and you don't have to change your career. But I'm so glad that all those things that really helped you. Now, in terms about the post-mentoring support mechanism, we believe that is very, very important as well. Did it help you? How we helped you after you came here and you started looking for the job? To what extent did it help you?
Exactly. It really, because like I didn't expect, last week you came, sir, after I started my job search, it's 2 weeks, and after 1 week you came to my home, like me and Vijay was very happy, and to have a guest here, like we didn't expect, I didn't expect, sir, you will be visiting me so early, and we felt really happy with that, sir. And I would say because since the time is very short, sir, so I really don't have that much experience to share, because it just happened by the time we started, sir. It just finished before we started, immediately as we started, and that is one happy. And one more thing is my parents, they were also very happy. They spoke to you.
Yes.
So, and that's one of the major reasons they, supported us to migrate to Australia, because they were more concerned about we migrating to Australia as a family. And after talking to you, they got really, the confidence, and they knew and when I told my mom, because that before the Saturday, you told me at the last moment that you were coming, the previous night, and the next day I spoke to my mom and told her you came home, and she felt really happy, and she was also happy we have got somebody to guide us and take care of us, and wise and experienced person like you. That is one really, not only for me and my wife and son, but also for our family back home, So Rajiv sir is like a very big support, and he's been like one of and last week I was really happy to get that message from you saying about CLA family. I am also happy to be a part of CLA family, and I should thank you for accepting us as a part of CLA family.
Thank you so much. And the one thing that I would like to share with you is Shri was offered not one job, but he had a couple of offers in hand, and we weighed up the two options, and we both came up with the best option. And then the option that we decided to go with, which is Shri's current employer, he gave him an offer, and I said to Shri, please don't accept it right away. So we shared a few techniques with him in terms of negotiating the salary, and I'm so glad and so happy to share this with you all, is that Shri was able to get $12,000 a year more money in his pocket than he was originally offered. So well done there as well. Now, out of this whole dealing with CLA experience, and of course our relationship is a long lasting relationship, so what was the one thing that really blew up your mind?
The first and foremost thing is you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, the core of this thing, is you. Just the positive vibration you send across yourself, and being with you, talking to you, just make me more confident, and that is one first and foremost thing. And the next thing is the real advice you provide, in terms, even in this situation which you say, choosing among two people, and you really guided me, who will be the, because it's like my dream job which I got. So that I know I can really give the best to them. And at one point of time, maybe I would have got into that. I would have thought I'm getting more money here, so I will go there or something. But at that time, you just asked me to slow down and guided me, so that I can make the right decision. And really, I'm happy that I got my
the job.
Yeah, which I really deserved and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. And like I was saying to you earlier, the next time I'll see you will be in your own home.
Okay.
So I wish you all the best, and God willing, you should be able to buy your home very quickly now that you have a permanent job. So wish you all the best, and we will see you very soon.
Okay.
With that, I say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next video very soon too. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.